So now that we've gone through the types of programmatic, you understand a little bit what it constitutes and how expansive it is. Why should you care? Obviously, we've already discussed the fact that digital ad spend has exploded in the past 5 years. Well, the biggest chunk of that is programmatic advertising. Some numbers go between 70 to 90%. So if everyone's harping about search advertising, which is still important, and social media advertising, which is still important, those may only constitute 10 to 30% of the whole pie. And if we're looking at just percentages, I can shift over to dollars. Estimates in the next couple years, $20 billion is going to be spent on programmatic advertising in the United States alone. So it's big business. It's where everyone's headed. So don't fall behind. Lastly, how do I get started with programmatic advertising? Well, unfortunately, unlike your search and your social media advertising, where anybody, any consumer can log in, create an account, and get started, whether or not they understand how to do it, programmatic advertising is sort of closed off to the general public. Typically, there are very high minimums for you to get access to what we call a trade desk, where you can go buy and ad placements across thousands, if not millions of different websites. So typically how this is done is by going to an agency. Oftentimes, if you don't have the capital or the amount of money to meet their minimums, an agency does. They have tons and tons of clients that they're able to manage. They have the expertise, the know-how, and then they often have a seat on these what we call trade desks. So you don't have to worry about minimums. With that said, there comes the typical things that you have to consider when looking for an agency. How savvy are they? How transparent are they? Do they know what they're doing? What platforms do they leverage? What size clients, what verticals? All of that still comes into play. But either way, going the agency route gets you onto these platforms, and it also saves you time, either having to hire some in-house talent or learn it yourself. You may learn it yourself, know it yourself, but if you don't have those minimums, which are often hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're not going to get access to these trade desks. So that's mostly the best reason to go to an agency. That's just a quick, nice, rough overview of what programmatic advertising is, why it's important, how fast it's growing, how expansive it is, and the ways that you can start leveraging it for your business.